all throughout school, they sort of put in your head that what you're doing is getting prepared for life. And what that can sometimes do to kids is make them think that like this isn't real life. Mm-hmm. And once I made the switch from like, okay, I'm learning, okay, I'm getting ready for something, I'm gonna graduate soon, to okay, nah, I'm a person, I'm out here really doing stuff. I could charge money. This is what people do. This is what people in business do.
That's a fact.
That was crazy because I remember that conversation and I was like, really? $485? What? Pay it.
Street smarts and book finesse. Mix 'em up, that's your best. This is the best show. Guiding your souls to grow. Helping you find your flow.
Hey, what's going on? And welcome back to the Best Bet Show. I am your host, Best Bet Dan, and I've got an amazing show for you today. It's going to be super fire, but before we get into any of that, I got a couple things for housekeeping. You already know the show is brought to you by my new book, Get More from the Game. So make sure you go grab a copy of the book. It is super fire. It's for student athletes, and it is going to change the way you look at sports. So super fire. And then also make sure you are following me on all socials. I'm Best Bet Dan everywhere. You see my chain? Now you know my name, Best Bet Dan. But no, I'm super excited for today's show. Man, I've got, it's funny, like I now have a reoccurring guest, seeing that my guy Matt has been on the show 3 times. So Matthew, welcome back to the show.
How's it going?
Chilling, bro. How you doing today?
Happy to be here. It's my 3rd time.
Word. You like you're like Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show. Regular.
Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show.
You're a regular.
I'd have to lie and say I watched that show. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Got it. I don't think I've never watched it either. I just hear about it because I always talk about him being on the show. But how goes it, man? What's life like these days? I mean, you 2 years out of high school. We living our best life. What's the word? Shoot,
man. I mean, yeah, I'm 2 years out of high school. I've been doing photography full time since high school. Since sophomore year, actually. I got more than half a decade in the business here. It sounds so fancy to say half a decade.
I see you.
Yeah, sounds so fancy.
Out here getting big, growing up.
Right. I've been transitioning, not really transitioning, but I've been doing a lot more videos recently. I've been connecting with people. Ashford reached out to me yesterday to do a shoot, but I couldn't make it. Unfortunately. But I've been connecting with some more people, trying to learn. Get nice with the videos.
Love that. So, like, what would you say, like, right now is your focus? Like, what's the hot product right now in video or in photos?
Well, right now I've been doing a lot of video mixes. So these athletes, they love their videos, and it brings a different type of energy than just photos. I really like photos. It seems like it's more of an art form for me. But the videos, they bring that energy. You can't really get across what you can get across in a video and just a photo. So I've been loving learning about a new thing. It feels like I'm learning photography all over again. And that's pretty much the most fun thing I've ever did. So it's pretty good with the videos.
Nah, that's fire. And I've been seeing what you've been posting. And then also, too, shout out to World of Inquiry 58 School.
Bro.
Winning the first championship.
Bro.
My bro, Steve White, assistant coach. Shout out to Coach Willie Mason, who got Coach of the Year.
Bro.
They took home all the awards. That was crazy.
Literally, I'm in this game, and I just posted a video of the end of it. But I'm in this award ceremony on the floor at the Blue Cross, and they just go, and Coach of the Year, Willie Mason, and Coach of the Decade, Willie Mason. Literally, this dude had so many
he cleaned
plaques.
house.
Dude, he won 5 different plaques.
That's
he had
crazy.
he had to give plaques to his players to hold for him in the picture because he couldn't hold all of his plaques. It was ridiculous.
That's definitely fire.
His contact in my phone is literally King Willie Mason.
That's crazy.
He's a winner.
That's crazy. So like what kind of prompted you to make the transition into doing more video stuff? Like how did it happen?
Well, it's about being versatile. So as a photographer, there's portraits, there's sports, there's event photography, and I feel like, not to toot my own horn, I feel like I'm pretty good at those things. And I know it in a sort of way where I want to add to what I am able to do. And with video, it's a lot more versatile. People are always asking me for videos, so I got to give the people what they want.
Got to give the people.
Exactly.
All right, I can't say any more of that song because they're going to charge me royalties.
Hey, chill.
I think it's only like 7 words. If you say more than 7 words, then you got to pay. So you ain't going to get the kid.
Absolutely not.
So, I mean, it's funny. So on this show, like we've talked about like your origin before and like your beginning in photography, but let's talk about it again because you know there's some people that's going to see this that didn't see the other one. So how did this all start for you?
Well, it all started, I come from a long line of pretty good photographers. My father, he had an old Nikon. A
long line of pretty good photographers is actually crazy.
Look.
A long line of mediocrity.
Look. Well, I don't want to say pretty good because I would say that my grandma's great. She's there capturing every single moment, and being real is what it's about as a photographer. My dad had this old Nikon. He used to shoot on film back in the day. And I was actually digging through my closet looking for this shirt, and I saw his old leather Nikon bag with his film camera in there. Like earlier today, I was just thinking about it. But my brother did photography in school. My grandma has had the camera my whole life. And then shout out Miss Reinert for real. That's my high school photo teacher. And if it wasn't for her support, I probably wouldn't have kept going. I remember the first time that I really thought I could have been good at this.
Yeah.
And it was the object project at school. They called it the object project. And
just randomly throwing Donald Trump impersonations. That's actually crazy.
And the object, bro, in 6th grade, my Trump impersonation was on lock. Ask Mrs. Vey. But the object project, we had to choose an object, and we chose an egg, right? And I took what I thought at the time, and it's still pretty cool, but the sickest picture of this damn egg. And I bring it to class, and Miss Reinert's like, oh my goodness, oh my, guys, come look. She brought the whole class to come look at this photo, and I was like, damn.
Egg was going crazy,
right.
Going stupid.
It was so profound seeing the way that my work could make other people feel. And from then on, I've just been addicted to it.
That's what's up. So like, man, what was it like? Like you went straight from being a high school student to like a full-time photographer. So like talk about like that transition a little bit. And did you feel prepared? Did you feel like what was it like, you know?
So it was always a weird sort of thing where you don't technically know what's happening next, but you gotta have faith in yourself to sort of know that you can get through it. And I was lucky to have a lot of mentors, and specifically in that time, my guy right here, who, look at my guy.
He was locked in.
Right.
Wasn't no switching up.
Right. And specifically, he, like, you literally taught me to sort of have that confidence to be able to go out and talk to people and be able to understand that, yes, you can make these great photos and show people and they'll feel a certain way about it, but you really put into my head the possibility that you can actually make money off a thing like this. Selling photos wasn't in my mind when I first started. I'm a student of the game. Student of the game. Get more from the game. Facts. And yeah, so I basically knew I could do it, and there wasn't going to be nobody telling me I couldn't, and here we are.
I think one of my favorite conversations that we had early on, and even kind of like just coaching moments, was when we went over pricing. And I was like, nah, bro, you priced way too low. Like, cause you were getting money sometimes, right? You had some instances where people would bring you in and they might throw you a few dollars, or you were like kind of like, hey, I'll do it for pennies. Just hire me, please. Not that dramatic, but
Some respect.
I just remember when, you know, we talked pricing, and then you made that switch towards like, nah, like I'm a photographer and I'm gonna charge real prices. And I'll never forget like that first time that you got someone to pay your price, and it was just like you were super lit because you were like, yo, like they didn't even like ask questions. They was like, yeah. And I was like, because again, you are a professional. This isn't there's no junior business. It's just you doing business or you're not doing business. And you caught on to that very quickly. And so I know that was a huge factor in just you, like, again, hitting the ground running because you just believed it. You accepted it.
Well, all throughout school, you know, they sort of put in your head that what you're doing is getting prepared for life. And what that can sometimes do to kids is make them think that like this isn't real life. And once I made the switch from like, okay, I'm learning, okay, I'm getting ready for something, I'm gonna graduate soon, to okay, nah, I'm a person, I'm out here really doing stuff. I could charge money. This is what people do. This is what people in business do.
That's a fact.
That was crazy because I remember that conversation and I was like, really? $485? What? Pay it.
But you just went to work. Like you just did it. Like you had that, and that's what was so fire. It was just like, and honestly, that's what has made it very fun to work with you throughout the years we've been working together, is the fact that you just do stuff. You know, I have some students who they don't do stuff. You know what I mean? And it's fine. You hate to say that. You hate to be like, oh man, just not every, you know, kid that I've had a chance to work with is this huge success story. But it's a part of the game, right? Not everybody is gonna lock in and get to work.
Well, and to say something else about pricing is when you're in business and you provide a real value to someone, people want to pay you. Because I know if I want something done, I don't want someone just doing it like, oh yeah, you know, maybe if I can get to it. You pay someone, they're putting 100% focus into that. And it's something where I actually told someone just a little while ago, they were booking a shoot for a sectional game, and they were talking about, well, you know, I guess I'll do it, but I don't want to be, if we lose, I'm out $150. And I was like, well, you're not exactly out $150. You didn't lose money. You gained those memories. And that's something important to me.
My boy going crazy with the overcoming the objections. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, yo, I did that. I taught him that. I did that. I'm going to take credit for that one.
That's true.
I'm taking credit for that one. Like, yo, that's work right there. That's work right there for real. Because, and just on the side note, like, I talk sales all the time. And so many people are so afraid of sales. But when it comes down to that aspect of sales where you have to overcome objections, it really is just helping people reframe stuff and helping them to get what they want. Because the reality of it is if he lost that game, he would, in the back of his mind, if he didn't get the photos, he would hate that he didn't have those memories.
Exactly.
But because you are good at what you do and you were able to hit him with the like, yo, at the end of the day, like, yo, you're still going to have the memories regardless. And those photos are still going to be with you forever. And what you taught me about photos, I love it, is that when you get a photo of taking a shot, right? Then you taking that smooth jump shot and the camera's on you and that form so beautiful. It's not a video.
Idea if you missed.
They don't know you airballed.
No idea if you missed or
they
not.
have no idea you bricked it.
Yo.
And that stayed with me. That stayed with me because I was just like, yo, like, okay. I need more photos in my life because I don't need people knowing that I missed all these shots.
Yo, and at the Blue Cross the other day, I ain't gonna name names, but you know who you are.
Oh no,
you sold my clip. You missed that dunk. I was pressed. I ain't gonna lie, I was pressed. But look, I don't think.
Wait, I know what you're talking about. I saw that.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Matter of fact,
everybody saw that.
Did you catch both of them? Because they had
Yes,
two of them.
Yes, two. Everybody saw that. And my second shooter, I ain't gonna call him my second shooter. That's the homie Tommy for real. But
shout out Tommy.
I had Tommy on. He was using my other camera doing stills, and the dunk shot. The shot of him going up with the ball.
The photo was fire.
He got above the rim for real.
Yeah,
It didn't look like that ball wasn't going in. He missed just a little bit, but no one knows. No one knows
Right.
from that photo.
Because the
and that
photo's
photo's
crazy.
coming soon. He's working on it, okay?
That's what's
working on it.
That's crazy. Like, and that's the beauty. Like you taught me that. Like, nah, you need photos because nobody. I might get a dunk shot one of these days. I might just for old time's sake, just for the memory, right? Just act like I can still do it.
Wasn't that something you've been working on? Trying to dunk again? Trying to dunk again in your 30s, 30 plus hoops, by the way?
Bro, I fell off.
Oh.
I fell off, but I'm getting back. I am getting back. I'm working on getting back because I do want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to do it. I got distracted, you know, lifed a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get back to that. So we're gonna put a pin in that because
when was the last time you dunked? Not to put you on a spot like that.
the last time that I dunked was
Because I'm 6'1" and can't dunk.
it was probably honestly in 2021, I want to say, because I had the whole health scare with blood clots in my lungs, and I had gained all of this weight, and then I lost it. I went crazy, like I went wild, and I think by the time like that September came, I was down to just under 200 pounds. And I caught a dunk at LA Fitness. It was basic. It wasn't nothing crazy.
Okay.
There was no flair to it, no nothing. But I did. That was my last dunk. Was in 2021.
Dude, what is good with LA Fitness? LA Fitness to Esporta back to LA Fitness.
It's probably like tax purposes or something. I don't know. There's some hidden reason why they're doing it. Who knows?
Ridiculous. Interrupting the runs.
That's a fact. But so also too, right? So we talked about the transition, you know, business wise from high school to college. But what was the transition from high school to college, or high school? Excuse me, not high school to college. High school to life for you, because you didn't go to college.
Yeah.
What was that transition for you like in terms of just socially, community? Like, talk about that for a second, because I think there's so many. Because I'm saying, but I'm old now. I'm 37. So when I say, look, value these moments in high school because it's different on the other side. It's not the same, and you got to find your way. So what was that like for you?
So, I mean, in school and stuff, there's obviously you go in every single day and there's people absolutely everywhere. You're just surrounded by people all day, and there's a massive sense of community. I mean, unless you're a hater, but like that's on you.
Don't be a hater.
No, absolutely not. Don't be a hater. But in school, there's a big sense of community, and there is a big community around you. And going from having all those people around me every day to once I graduate, working on my own, because I had already been working on my own, but I had all these people I was always around. And now working on my own for these past 2, almost 3 years, I've been able to sort of build a community around me where I meet new people every single day. Like I don't think 2 days have gone by where I haven't added someone to my contact list in a long time. Like I meet people all the time, and I'm lucky enough to sort of my work will speak for itself, and people really resonate with it.
Yeah.
And they want to be a part of it. People want to
That
support
was another
me.
super dope moment. It was we were working through networking, right? We're working through like small talk and the power of that, and this whole idea, right? And I remember it was such a huge epiphany for you that you literally could just talk to anyone anywhere, like everybody. And it's funny because I kind of started saying like everyone's playable, because you think about a video game, right? There's some characters in the game that are just NPCs, right? You can't play them, you can't talk to them, you
Did
can't
not
go
tell you
up.
what an NPC was.
It was either you or Jotaro.
I think we were in here.
It was you or no. I think Jotaro said it, and I was like, and I came to you. I was like, "Yo, NPC, have you heard that before?" And you like confirmed, like, "Yeah, that's what it is." But in real life, there's no NPCs.
Nah.
And everyone is playable, so you can just strike up conversations all the time, anywhere. And so one of my favorite stories, and I got a ton of, but one of my favorites was you're like, yeah, so, I'm at a basketball game taking pictures, and I'm just doing what you taught me. I'm just small talk, So I'm talking to this guy, and then I ask him what his name is, and he's like, Dwayne Sneed.
Yo, I met his dad at a game, dude.
That's facts.
I randomly walked up to this man's father and was like, "Hey, what's going on, man? I do pictures, blah 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 blah." We were talking, and I think I mentioned like a teacher or two or a mentor of mine. He was like, "Hold on, what did you just say?"
That's
he was like,
crazy.
I'm his dad, bro. I was like, really? Took a picture with him, sent it to Dan. He was like, hey.
That was like
Dwayne.
one of my favorite full circle moments.
That was hilarious.
Because
that was so funny.
Not you like actually executing what you're learning and then it being my dad. Like that was actually nuts. Like
that was ridiculous.
That made my whole day because how? Right. How, Sway?
Nah, 2025, social anxiety scared of me for real.
That's a fact. Nah, I love to hear that. So, you hit the ground running, right? You're just going. Self-doubt. Has there ever been a moment in this process where you got scared, where you kind of felt like, yo, what am I doing? Like, I don't have the quote unquote security of a degree. You know what I'm saying? So has that happened? And if so, like, how did you handle a moment like that?
I think Coach Prime said it, like, I've had a bad hour, but I've never had a bad day. And
I like that.
It's something where those thoughts will sometimes happen, and then it's like instantly snap out of it. Go look at what you've done. Mm-hmm. And there's this book I read. It's called Can't Hurt Me. I read that a long time ago. I was probably 14.
David Goggins, the monster.
David Goggins, bro. David Goggins. And he has a principle in that book called the cookie jar. And what the cookie jar is essentially a grouping of all of the amazing things that you've done, all of the difficult things that you've done. And he says that in a moment of difficulty or doubt, you just pull from the cookie jar and say, look what I did, and look what I can do.
Right.
And did it then, why can't I do it now? And I got a couple things in the cookie jar for you. So
that's what's up.
I just moved past it.
That's what's up. What's something people misunderstand about being a professional, and more so being like a young professional? What are some annoying things that you have to deal with when it comes to some of the potential clients or just dealing with the public and some of their ignorances?
I honestly, like, right now is like when I would give a message to the haters for real. Mm-hmm. But like, I really don't have no haters. I actually brought the op list with me today.
Not the op list. The op list is actually crazy.
I brought the op list. Chat. I brought the op list with me today.
He brought a prop.
As you can see, ain't no ops.
Zero ops.
When it comes to having to deal with ignorant people, I don't have to deal with ignorant people. They don't come up to me. I do what I do. I take my pictures. I make my clients happy. Ain't nobody got nothing bad to say about it.
That was. I like that. I like what you did with that. I'm about to start bringing props to the podcast. I gotta step my game up. He came to my podcast, came to my show, and show him. But I like that though. I like that. What is one of your favorite moments in photography? Like, what has been one of the moments where you just kind of just took a step back and said, "Yo, this is amazing."
Damn, I got a lot of pretty good moments.
Pick your favorite one.
Shoot. The most electric I ever seen a gym was when this kid Owen Akari, he hit a 3 in a sectional final game. Aquinas was up freaking 30. Mm-hmm. Aquinas was up 30 in the fourth quarter.
This is the Aquinas Fairport game?
No, this was years ago.
Oh,
this
okay.
Was This was
Gotcha.
years ago when the Blackwoods were on the team and they won sectionals easy.
Okay.
They're up 30 fourth quarter of sectional finals, and they put in like the team manager.
Okay.
And Buddy goes in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are we getting a J-Mac moment here, bro? And he hit this three.
Shout out to J-Mac.
He hit this three, and dude, the gym went.
Did the gym shake?
Oh my goodness,
Did it shake?
It was shaking, quaking.
Beastquake.
Bro, absolutely. We were at Gates Chili down the street, actually.
Shout out to Gates.
Right, exactly.
Alma mater.
And dude, I got. He hit him with the 3. And he was right in front of the bench, so all his homies were going insane, and it was packed out.
I love that.
That was an absolutely electric moment.
That's super dope.
And then I've got to work with some cool people. I did shoot for the Doherty Dozen. That was a pretty surreal thing.
Shout out to the Doherty Dozen with all dozen of them.
Oh, dude, mad.
I followed him on
Instagram
Instagram because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still be talking to Alex for
She makes mad meals, yo.
Dude.
I never skip one of her meal prep videos.
No.
Like I'm watching that every single
Right.
time, no
Dude.
matter what. The meal prep be going stupid because it's really like 85 kids.
bro. It's 12 kids, and they're all like, okay, they got the matching lunch boxes. She's locked in for real.
That's
she
a
is
fact.
locked in.
That's a fact. I love that. So, what's something you caught on camera that you didn't expect to catch? What's something that like afterwards when you're editing and you're looking at it, you're like, oh, I got that.
All right, like 2 weeks ago, I'm shooting a game, and it is like AQ is down 2 in like the last. No, they were down 3. They were down 3 last couple seconds of the game. Buddy hits this 3, and I'm like, I have to get this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's the last 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
AQ got the ball. They're down 3. They need the 3 to tie it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with my camera trying to record it, and I have my backup camera, my 360 camera.
Mm-hmm.
And once he hits the game tying 3, I press end on the record button. I pressed end on the record, and it starts recording. No. Yeah, bro. All my videographers, they know what that means. When you press end on the recording and it starts recording, that means you just missed everything. That means you missed everything.
Absolute pain. I've done that before.
Dude, and I looked down and I was like, oh no. Like, that is the most important. It was the most important shot of the whole game for me to get. But I had it on my backup camera, thankfully. Thankfully, I got the backup camera with me. I had it on my backup
Saved
camera.
by the backup.
Dude, and the backup it's a 360, so you can turn it around.
Yeah.
And I was looking at my face when I realized that I missed the record button.
Yo.
I was distraught.
Post
dude.
that.
I was
Yo,
distraught.
you should. That's a great story reel.
Well, yeah, I know.
Matt,
Yo,
that's a story reel,
reason
bro.
I hadn't posted it yet is because I didn't want her to know that like I've messed up her son's game tying 3. The Booster Club president, her son hit the 3.
That's crazy.
I didn't want her to know. She gonna know now, but oh well.
Yo,
Shout
that's
out
a
Leslie.
reel. That's a reel, and that's a story. And you literally have to post that. Like I'm gonna be on your back until I see that you, because I want to see the reaction. Like I want to see your face in that moment. And,
Dude, it was rough.
And what it was like.
It was rough. It was rough.
That's crazy.
I got the shot though.
Pain.
Technically, I got the shot.
On the
Yeah.
technicality. That's fire.
I technically got the shot.
That's fire. So, I think back to the Zoom call that I was on with you, myself, and your mom, and in that moment, I was still very early in this whole thing of Best Bet Skills Academy and this belief that I had that like,
exactly what you're gonna say.
high impact social skills could be a game changer, right? 2 years later, 3 years actually, because it was the end of your junior year. We're almost to 3 years later. Would you say that I was able to deliver on what I promised you guys that day?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be sitting here podcasting with this man if he sold me some bunk course. Like, what are we doing?
right.
I've been so close with Daniel over these past 3 years. It's almost been 4 over these past 3 years, and it's something where like I don't really mess around. I don't have I have like my close circle, but I'm not gonna keep somebody around if they're ridiculous. You know what I mean? And Daniel's been loyal to me. I've been loyal to him. And I don't know where I would have been. Hey, I don't know where I would have been if I didn't take that course. Like I said earlier, you really taught me how to go out and talk to these people, and you really gave me that confidence to know that I can make a business out of myself. And I don't know who else would have told me that. Maybe 3 years later, someone would have told me that. Maybe 4 years later, someone would have told me that. Mm-hmm. But it's really important when you're young to learn these lessons. Mm-hmm. People always talk about what's one lesson you would give to your former self, or if you wish you could tell your younger self one thing. I feel like he was telling me them things. Right. Bro was there to tell me them things for real. Right. Like I didn't have to lollygag for 4 years, try to figure stuff out. Yeah. Dude was there to tell me how stuff was and how stuff could be, and how you got to work hard and how you got to do these things to be successful. And yeah.
And it's crazy. So I'm going to take a second and just commercial for myself real quick, in the sense that one of the biggest things that I get when I talk to parents especially is like, well, you know, I'm making an investment in you, right? This is an investment. You know, how do I know you're going to be around? Mm-hmm. And I just remember again that conversation with you and your mom. I just like, yo, like I'm locked in. Like this business has been a tough business on the business side, mm-hmm. because not everyone is looking for me. Mm-hmm. And then even, you know, dealing with the scam allegations when you first got enrolled.
Yo, shout out Josiah. Josiah.
You said his name. Now, I wasn't going to say his name because we cool now.
Hey, we cool.
But I beat the allegations, though.
He beat it.
We got
Josiah on his side now. We got Josiah coming around.
Word. Beat the allegations. But like, yeah, like when I'm sitting with parents, I'm telling them like, nah, like this is my life's work. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's funny because throughout this process of this business, I've had a good amount of people say, do something different. Work with, you know, why don't you do this or do that? And it's just like, nah, like I believe that this is a calling for me. Mm-hmm. I am called to equip the next generation in a way that most people aren't doing right now. And so, yeah, like I'm really here. And it's funny, last night, was it last night? It was last night. I get a call from one of my day one students. Like literal
I'm a day two. I'm a day two.
Day two.
I'm a day two.
But so my guy Juan calls me, right? Mm-hmm. So Juan's got some stuff in the works and he's got a big decision coming up. But in the course of our conversation, you know, got in my coaching bag a little bit. And it's funny because he told me, because I wanted to find out if he made 6 figures, because he would be my first student that, like, because of this curriculum and this course and this coaching, that did 6 figures in a year. So at the end of the year, he told me, he's like, yeah, I was just over 6 figures. And he was like, guess what? He was like, I was a little bit. He was like, I was further over 6 figures than I thought. And so he came in at 117 last year. In his second year in sales, in his first year, he made 80. So he had a jump of about $37,000 in a year. Mm-hmm. And
that's what we do over here,
bro. Like the conversations like that, like this is why I'm in it for the long haul, because it's a process. It's a process. So now he and I, we got a little journey that we're going on as he gets ready to make a really big decision and walks into the next phase of his life. Mm-hmm. And so, but yeah, like I am a longevity person. I tell people in general, not even like just in my business, once you meet me and I'm locked in with you, you can't get rid of me. Like I'm locked in. I don't know what switching up is.
No switches.
So that's definitely like just been really awesome, you know. And again, you've stayed in the game. You know, I've had, you know, students who, and I don't want to say they gave up, but there's some students like it was definitely we worked together
I haven't
for
seen some of them in a
season,
minute. Yeah.
or that season, right? And they got what they needed, and they're on to the next phase of their life, you know. But even with that, I'm still accessible, and I still reach out to pretty much all of them and just check in. How you doing? What you doing? I remember Benny got a
Shout
sales
out Benny.
Benny got a sales job, and he hit me. He was like, now Benny's African, and he got a deep, heavy Congolese accent.
Benny's African.
He was like, with everything you told me is I'm in sales right now, and all the things you told me, like I said, good. Now execute, and now don't you wish you would have practiced a little bit more? So now when you hear, like, boom, it's just, you know, second nature. But even still, you know, it was just so awesome for him to have that moment and to share that moment with him. So, you killing it, bro.
Well, I appreciate that. And sort of going off how you were talking about mentoring people, is there a right way to mentor somebody?
I don't think that there's a right or wrong way, but I do want to make a very fine distinction. There is a big difference between mentoring and coaching. They're not the same. So, and it's funny because a lot of people.
That's interesting.
Let me break it down real quick. So a lot of people, when they look at what it's like, oh, you're a mentor. And I can't, there are moments when I mentor, right? Where I'm kind of more at 30,000 feet and kind of just giving advice. But coaching is being in the trenches, right? So I kind of give you
telling
this example.
people to up their prices.
So that's a fact. When Kobe retired, he mentored.
May he rest in peace.
That's a fact. Rest in peace, Kobe. Matter of fact, I just last week, I went to East Ave Wegmans, and there was a cooking class in like the little cafe park.
I saw that on your story.
And I walked by where I was sitting when my homeboy called me and told me that Kobe had passed away. And it was like, I flashed back in that moment. It was kind of wild. But so, all right. So the thing with Kobe is when it came to other NBA players, Kobe was a mentor. Like he was, and it's funny because they talked about it, right? Like Kyrie talked about it. I'm trying to think who else. Kyrie talked about it. Man, I know he was super close to Kyrie, but
doesn't Tatum like Kobe?
Yes, Tatum.
We did that.
Yo, that's so random. He mentored those guys, right? Like he would occasionally be in the gym with them, but for the most part, it was the calls. It was, hey, how do I break down this defense? Or how do I do this with my feet? Or what's this or that, right? Like he mentored them. And mentorship it's like relational, right? Because it's more predicated on the relationship. And it's something that is done from afar. It's more periodical. Like you might talk to a mentor once every 6 months, once every 3 months. And there's sometimes it might be a little bit more than, usual. So that's mentoring, right? Where it's just like advice, it's just like pat on the back. Mentors are typically doing their other thing. But who Kobe coached Gigi, his daughter. That's who he coached. Kobe was in the gym with Gigi in the Mamba's team, Mambasitas, right? Kobe was working on their form, right?
Is that what the team was called?
Or
you just said that.
I think they would just say that.
I like that.
She would. Her mom would like tweet that or whatever.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
But either way, like Kobe coached them. Kobe was getting reps with them. Kobe was like, all right, we got smoked by this team. Then the next year we play that same team again and we whoop them. And Kobe tweets about it and gets backlash and it goes crazy. But coaching is, we have goals, right? We're going from A to B. And it's not predicated on like a timeline. It's not necessarily like a curriculum. That's why I love coaching versus kind of like the education system, because in that system, I got a semester. And if you don't get what I need you to get in a semester, you're gone, right? Whereas coaching, there's an amount of time that we're working together. And within that time, it's like, yo, our goal is to master techniques. Our goal is to overcome objections, right? Not get scared of a sale because somebody is getting cold feet about it. It's being able to really help somebody master a craft. And so I love that you asked that question, because so many people, they don't understand that. And even at times when I get a new student that I'm working with, I have to tell them, like, look, this isn't just, you could get information anywhere. You could go on YouTube right now and learn and get any information on anything you want, but you can't get coaching. And that is the secret sauce. Like, that is what makes what I do worth anything. Because if it was just information, like, you know what I mean? You can get information anywhere. There's all types of guys talking about networking, sales, public speaking, content creation. But to have someone that can walk you through and kind of be with you step by step and be in those trenches, like, that's what coaching is. And that's what we did, and that's what we do together, right? I coach you. And again, there are times and there are kind of moments of mentorship, and I love that. But I love coaching because I want to watch you get better.
Well, I've been coached by you for 3.5 years now, and you haven't steered me wrong yet. So
doing my best.
And then you're also a mentor to me by the way that you lead by example, and I'm also lucky enough to call you a friend. So is there any sort of common pieces of advice out there that you actually disagree with?
Yes. I'm glad you asked this question. This is actually a very, very good question.
You glad I what that question?
I'm glad you asked that question. I do not, it's two things. I do not agree with people telling people do what you love for a career. I 100% disagree with that. Because passions change. Life happens. I think also too, you should protect passions. That's specifically why I've never chosen to really be like a head coach in basketball. Like I assisted 1 year with Steve, and that was more so just because he kind of made me as a friend. He was like, I got this coaching job, like help me. And I was like, okay.
Okay, whatever.
He bullied me.
Guess so.
But passions change and they shift, and I think you should protect passions, right? So think about this, right? Even if you love what you do, right? If somebody said to you right now, like, you're running your photography business, like you're out there, you're working, you're getting leads, you're doing all the things. But if someone said to you, hey, I'm going to give you your salary as a photographer. I'm going to give you $80,000 for the next 5 years. And then you don't have to do photography, right? Like, yo, chances are you wouldn't do what you're doing today, right? Now, might you still take pictures because you enjoy it and you love it? Yeah, you would 100% still take pictures because of the art of it. But the working the business of it, you wouldn't do that. You absolutely wouldn't do that. Like, nobody would do that because the whole point that we work is to not work. You go to a job, and even if you own a business, one of the first things you're doing is you're setting up a retirement account. Day one, you're setting yourself up to not work. So it's just like, if that's the goal, right? Why don't we tell young people, hey, number one, start to think about how you want to live. How do you want to live every day? What do you want to be able to do when you're not working that you're able to do because of the work that you do?
Preach, Daniel.
That's going to get them to think. When I ask young people that all the time, and they just look at me like I got 3 heads, because they're just like, nobody ever asked me that before. Nobody ever has had that conversation with me. Then we start to talk, and I say, well, I want to do this, and I want to do it. So, okay, so now, right, if you're able to find a career, you're able to find a business that would afford you that lifestyle, that would allow you to the time that you're not working, be able to live how you want to live, would you make the agreement with that career to show up and work hard to live the way you want to live when you're not working?
Damn.
100% of the time, every young person has said, yo, that's brilliant.
Wow. That is quite the answer. So I hate that question. I hate that question, or not that advice, because it's advice. Do what you're passionate about. Nah, your passions change, and then what happens when your passions change and you devoted your whole life to that? Now you stuck. So speaking about passions changing as a young kid growing up in Gates with hoop dreams, eventually going overseas, and then you come back and I have a beautiful family, wife and kids. How do you define success, and how has that changed over the course of your life?
Whew, man. Whew. You hit me with one right there, because that's a real question.
No kiddie pool.
No kiddie pool. We in the deep end.
No cap.
Man, I think for me personally, success has been kind of a moving target, if you will. In some seasons, I think success looks this way, and other seasons I've thought success has looked this way. And so right now, right? So this business, right? This has been a trial for me. And I'm talking about trial, like tribulation and trial, because I'm dialed into this. Could I go do other stuff? There's a bunch of other stuff I could go do that I'm qualified to do, that I'm skilled to do, and I can make way more money faster. Like I could just step into these things and be like, all right, I could just do this, and my life would instantly get better because I'm doing these things. So for me, success is first and foremost living a life that is honoring and pleasing to God. That's super important to me, and that trumps everything.
Has it always been that way?
For a long time, you know, I've had seasons where it maybe didn't always look that way. I had seasons where, you know, faith was hard. Being a believer is not easy. You know what I'm saying? You live with you have selfish desires, right? The three deadly sins, the pride of life, the lust of the eyes and the lust of the flesh, right? You want what you can't have. You're aspiring, you're grinding to get to these places because you see what other people have or whatever. So yeah, I've had great seasons in my faith. I've had bad seasons. I've had some seasons where I'm totally pissed off at God, and I'm literally like, nah, I'm walking away. If it were possible for me to walk away, I'm walking away.
Can't escape that, man.
But he just be everywhere I'm at.
Right,
So
right.
So it's a narrow road, and sometimes it's very difficult. You know, it's easy in this day and age to get shiny object syndrome, right? Because all it takes to see what the next person has is to open a phone in the palm of your hand. Now you see everybody's highlight reel on social media, and you just think, man, I don't have this, I don't have that. But it's just like, yo, like, my family's healthy. Like,
Amen.
there's people that want that have all the money in the world. And if they could give me their billions in exchange for health, they would. And it's like that. It's not cliche. Like, that's real.
No, that is definitely
You know what I'm
real.
saying? I'm 37. My hairline. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, chill.
Like, yo, I can still grow hair.
How many fingers can you fit?
You know what I'm saying? I can still grow hair. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's a little thing, but I'm starting to learn, like, yo, gratitude is a superpower. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I have more things, both physically, spiritually, just in my soul. I have more good, and I have more of the perfect life than not the perfect life. You know what I'm saying? And so today's success for me is, man, how can I help my family? How can I love on my kids, love on my wife, and be there for them? How can I impact the world? You know, how can I, just help the next person? And it's funny, like, I find myself all the time, just whenever I have a chance, having conversations where I just jump in my coaching bag. I'll tell people straight up, I'm like, get your phone, I'll start recording this. And I'll just cook.
Been there.
You know what I'm saying? I'll just cook. Like, now, do what you will with that. You know what I'm saying? But I have goals too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went through a very, very tough time personally in 2023. Was separated from my wife for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Was in the deepest depression I've ever been in. I couldn't get out of bed for weeks. I just was existing and ended up in a hole financially
Mm-hmm.
and have been digging out of that hole.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, life is life. And so I want to get my family a house. You know, that's why I wrote the book. Low key, I wrote this book because I think I can sell enough copies in a year to buy us a house. So that's what the book. Obviously, I want to help people. And I think it's a phenomenal book.
Get the damn book.
I think it's a great book.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so yeah, I want to get us a house. But I want to be a great husband and a great father and a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to be someone that you want around, not just because of maybe what I could give to you or you can get from me, but because like, I just want Dan in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether Dan is a part of it or not, like Dan gonna be a cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, like, you know, with some of my friends, I'm able to be their biggest cheerleaders, you know, with the things that they have going on. And so so success, it looks different in different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Right now I consider myself very successful. I mean, I've had a life full of side missions, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I sat in the gym for 48 hours and shot thousands of shots.
That was something, dude.
Bro.
Marathon of hoops.
Bro, that was the first streamathon for real.
Bro,
That was in 2013, bro.
Kai Sinet better give you some money for that. Kai Sinet ripping your ideas.
Went overseas, played basketball. You know what I'm saying? I went to Colombia on business and launched.
Can we say former professional basketball player?
Ish. I played terrible. I don't even like to talk about that.
He said he played terrible. He is a professional basketball player, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So you mentioned shiny object syndrome. Can you give just a real brief description of what that is?
Oh man, that's why I fight every day. Especially too because, and if you're listening to this or watching this and you are multi-talented, it's easy to get shiny object syndrome because you can do so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's mad things that I'm able to do, and so
flex on them.
But you know, success comes from being a stamp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you think about a stamp, now this was stolen. Not I didn't create this, or I didn't invent this, but the sole functionality and the sole purpose of a stamp and what makes a stamp useful is its ability to stick to one thing until it reaches its destination.
Mm-hmm. So
shiny object syndrome is pew, 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 pew. And I get that. I mean, like, again, side quest, I had the manly cups, right? So I Stanley, manly.
Cups,
so,
baby.
you know, that was a side quest, shiny object syndrome. Me and Roman, shout out to Roman. We worked together on that.
Another day, too.
Facts. And I hope that would have popped and went viral. Let's see, what else? I mean, I've had a bunch of shiny object syndrome situations.
Oh no.
And but yeah, I think if you're locked in on something, you want to do your best to try to avoid that, because some things can just be a distraction, you know, from the main thing. And even just like, you know, in this country, you have a lot of influencers, a lot of people, they preach multiple streams of income, which is very good. But many people are struggling to really build one stream of income. And it's just like, yo, LeBron was a world-class basketball player before he was a world-class businessman. And so it's just like, yo, if you can master the one thing, like if you can have the stamp mentality on the one thing, then it makes everything else come easier, because now you get to leverage the resource from the one thing, right? Like Steph Curry has multiple different companies, but he's not running all of those companies. He's not there. Like his resource has allowed him to hire CEOs. His resource has allowed him to build teams of people that execute his vision, that execute the purposes of those companies. And to be one person and being in running 5 companies where you're physically the laborer in all of those companies, that is not a situation that's going to give you the best results. So, you know, shiny object syndrome, if you can afford it, it's not terrible. Some people can afford shiny object syndrome. But definitely is something that I continuously fight.
I mean, generally shiny object syndrome could be a bad thing. But ladies and gentlemen, it's 2025. If you're looking for a new shiny object, get more from the game. You can order it on Amazon today. Link in the description, ladies and gentlemen. This is your new shiny object for 2025. Just in case you were looking.
And the cover is shiny. It's definitely a shiny cover.
Dude, it's a shiny cover. Chat, we got my picture in here somewhere. There it is. Jorstad imagery in the book. Ladies
you did take that picture. That's a fact.
Took that photo for my guy.
Absolutely.
So hit up Amazon, support both of us.
Word.
And on to the next question.
What you got for me? What you got?
So I know there's a saying like blessings in disguise, stuff like that. What has been sort of not necessarily a mistake that you've made, but something that happened in your life where it was a roadblock, or it was, damn, I should have done this a different way, but it turned out that making that mistake was the best thing for you?
Oh man, there's been a lot of those. There's almost too many. How do I pick one? Honestly, I would say, so my time doing network marketing. So I was a part of a network marketing, and actually I'm still a part of the company because I still get residuals. But I was a part of this company called ACN. Shout out to ACN. And it just, there were seasons where it was really good. You know what I'm saying? There were seasons where it was just like, okay, I'm gonna make it to the top in this venture. Like, this is going to be the thing where I was successful because of this. And it got to a point where I kind of had this epiphany that if I could do that all over again, that I would never have built the business the way I built it for 7 years, which was being heavy on recruiting and building distribution, right? So when people look at businesses like, network marketing or multi-level marketing, they oh, you're always recruiting people. But what they don't understand is, from a business standpoint, it's distribution. The more distributors you have, the more points of distribution, the more you can sell, in theory. But at the end of the day, people have to work. People have to do the thing. And a lot of people say they want better, but will refuse to do better. And so in hindsight, I'm like, dang, man, I wish that if I would have spent 7 years doing it the way I did it the last year, because the last year I made a switch where the only thing I did in that business was I sold the services. I just said, I'm going to be the best salesman of services. I'm about to go nuts just selling these services.
Only time you switched.
And I wish that I would have done that from day one, because my residual would be stupid if I had done that. And also, too, it actually would have lended to better recruiting, because now, instead of me recruiting from, hey, join my team, it's like, well, I have, $1,500 a month in residual income. Here's how I did it. And then now it becomes easier to attract more people when you have that. Whereas I spent most of my years not having much of residual because of how the compensation plan was set up, and then living off of bonus money, which is not a good way to live. But the blessing in that, is in those 7 years, the aspect of recruiting, that's really what, in a lot of ways, forced me to grow as a person. Because to recruit, you have to have a level of attractiveness as a person, right? Like, people have to want to do something.
Look at those braids.
Well, it might be a little bit of physical attraction, but just, as a human being, right? Having that, the Riz, right? The charisma.
Riz. Daniel
Riz
Sneed,
God.
Riz, ladies and gentlemen. Riz God.
Call me the Rizzler.
That's God with a G-A-W-G-D.
That's a fact. Nah, but so in that season, man, that's when I really got good at small talk. That's when I stopped being afraid of people, because I've realized that, people are how you get things done. People are what make things happen. And so, that I would do that differently, but I think it worked out great, because that's a skill set that I now teach in Best Bet. Those are all the things that, now it's like, I got the blueprint of skills. If you have these skills, and again, going back to the advice that I hate, right? About do what you love, right? This skill set, being able to speak well, being able to sell, being able to teach, understanding content creation, how to monetize it, understanding leadership, being a good leader, those skills actually put you in a better position to live off of passions. Because now, if your passion switches tomorrow and you wake up and for whatever reason you become allergic to that camera, you have a baseline skill set that you now can apply to the next thing that you're passionate about. And so it's like, if you have to be a person who's like, I got to be passionate about what I do, well, having high impact communication skills, or what I call social trades, that's going to allow you to be so much more adaptable, because once you could sell anything because you understand how to do it. Once you're a speaker, you can speak about anything. If you're a speaker, today your passion might be, ending, child trafficking, right? And that might be the thing that you're on. But then you might, I'm really into the environment now. But you can speak, you can hold an audience, you can hold court with an audience. So now you can just apply the skill to the thing, whatever the thing is at the time. So as much as I hate the thing of, do what you're passionate about, if you work with me, I could show you how to always be able to do what you're passionate about, because this skill set allows you to pivot. And during that 7 years of doing the business in that way, I developed a really, really dope skill set. Like the presentation that I did to the recruiting presentation, I could do that presentation in my sleep today. And so I have
Run it. No,
I have a speaking coach, right? So this was crazy, right? Watch this. I have a speaking coach. I just started working with him about 2 months ago. Shout out to my guy, Duncan. And
Duncan, baby.
I did my first speech for him, right? And we did it over Zoom because he's not local. And after the speech, he kind of looked at me for a second. He was like, "You don't use fillers." He was like, that surprised me. He's like, "I was waiting for ums and uhs, and I was waiting for these fillers." He was like, "You legitimately do not use fillers." He was like, "That's amazing." And I'm just thinking, like, for 7 years.
You said I've been practicing.
I did presentations in living rooms where and then I had opportunities to be on stage in front of thousands and, sharing my testimony and doing different trainings. And so I'm built like that, but I was in the trenches, right? I was home presentation, sometimes 3-4 in a day. And so that season, that was a huge blessing, because that season gave me so much to share. Like, a lot of what I taught you came from that season, though when you look back at it, if you look at it just kind of with the naked eye, you might say, "Oh man, that was a bust." Nah, that gave me the foundation to do what I'm doing today.
I like it.
Word.
Sheesh. We got Daniel Sneed with the deep answers, ladies and gentlemen.
You told me to go to. You said no kiddie pool.
Absolutely no kiddie pool. Shout out D Will.
D Will.
D Will.
I was talking to him earlier today. I told him I'm coming to the studio to rap, and he immediately shut it down. He said, "No, don't do that."
He said Daniel can't come rap.
He doesn't believe in my rap skills.
No.
He does not believe in me.
Give us a freestyle.
Somebody should believe in me.
Give us a freestyle. We're in the studio right now.
Nah, I can't freestyle. I told him if he wrote a rap for me, that I would get really good at it.
Oh, the Drake method. You want a ghostwriter?
Yeah, I need a ghostwriter.
Okay,
I'm not ashamed to admit that. I need a ghostwriter.
Okay. Nah, that and admitting your strength, admitting your weaknesses is a strength.
That's a fact.
No cap.
There's a weakness I want you to. I've been pressing you about it for a while, and I kind of laid off for a little bit.
Oh, what's he pressing me?
But I'm about to go back to pressing you.
Speaking on camera.
You got to do it. You're leaving opportunities on the table. You're leaving opportunities on the table, Matthew.
Where we at?
You're leaving opportunities on the table by not speaking on camera.
He right, chat.
Stop leaving the money on the table. Like that story. The one you told me about, like, not getting that shot, but then having it on the backup, bro, that's a story. Tell that story, because facts tell, stories sell. And I've told you that before. Facts tell, stories sell. You got to lock in. You got to get on camera, because you have a great story. You have a great journey. And the more that you can document of your journey and telling the stories of what you're going through, talking about the rejections, talking about the mishaps, talking about the times when maybe you didn't approach somebody because you maybe were a little scared, but then maybe a week later you did, and it wasn't that hard because whatever. You know what I'm saying? People need to hear those stories. And again, those stories will open up doors for new clients. Those stories will open up doors for new collaborations. Those stories will open up doors for opportunities. This is in the day and age where if you are in business, you need to be talking on camera, which today is a start because we're talking and we're on camera.
That's part of why I wanted to. It's part of why I wanted to do this show today, and I'm really happy we did. It's been a great show. We're not quite done, but talking on camera has been something that I don't know. I don't know why it hasn't happened as much as it could.
Bro, I wanted to choke you. One time I told you to make a reel, and you were like, my friends are going to think it's cringe. Where are they now, Matt? Where are the people that's going to think it's so cringe? Matt, where are they, Matt?
I don't know. Those guys are still my friends.
Where the op list at? Where the op list at?
Ladies and gentlemen.
There's no ops.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an updated op list. Chat, we have an updated op list. Let me flip the page, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, not he really got an op.
The updated op list, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's on there?
Who's on there? We got whoever said World of Inquiry wasn't winning the damn chip this year. And J-Mac trolls, bro. We don't mess with J-Mac around here. Dead ass.
Nikon shooters, who are those? You got the third op.
All those potato people know what they're talking about. We don't mess with Nikon shooters either. My main camera does happen to be a Nikon these days, but look, I've been clowning Tommy for years about his Nikon, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Did you just write that, or did you really have that ready?
I brought 2 op lists with me to the show today, ladies and gentlemen.
Op list is actually wild.
I brought 2 op lists to the show. That's just how it go. That was a bar. I could rap.
So, all right, here's what I have a question for you, right? So, what do you want your next 3 to 5 years to look like? Business, personal, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are some things that you're looking to accomplish over the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I'm looking to first of all make a proper living from photography, and I am pretty much there. I'm moving out soon, getting my own house with some friends.
Let's
and
go.
Photography's doing that for me.
Look at you growing up.
And that's something.
Look
that's
at my boy growing up.
Yeah.
Look at my
that's
boy.
something that I haven't been able to say before. And I really built this for myself, and I'm looking to continue that. Bookings just increase. And but more importantly, I'm looking to grow like a real good community around me. And that comes with...
Don't touch that part of the mic.
I would never touch that part of the mic. Yeah.
We already had one technical difficulty today. We don't need another one.
Chad, we had an accidental intermission.
That's a fact. But you'll never know when it was, though.
Nope, you won't figure it out. Shout out Kobe. But...
Yo, not him telling. Not you telling.
Look, they don't... You look, all right. But... It's in the next 3 to 5 years. I want to connect with as many people as possible. It's not just about having like Instagram followers and stuff like that. I now have as like I said, I'm over half a decade into doing photography and now video. I have people. I
like the way you worded that.
I have people that come up to me, asking me the exact same questions that I was asking people that I considered to be like high up in the industry when I first started. When I first started, I'd be going to games and I would ask whoever, any question I could possibly think of. Anyone who had a camera that looked like they knew what they were doing in my mind when I was 14, I was going up to them, asking them questions, telling them, yo, I really like your work, blah, 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 blah. And nowadays, I have people coming up to me saying the exact same things. I was at a game once, and this kid comes up to me. I have no idea who this kid is. Mm-hmm. He introduced himself. Yo, my name's blah, blah, blah. I won't say his name, but he told me that I was the reason he picked up a camera.
That's
and
fire.
I was like, dog,
that's fire.
What?
That's fire.
Right. He told me I was the reason he picked up a camera, and then he just walked away like it was nothing. And I was like, dog, what?
Yo, he mic dropped you like that?
What?
Yo, that's a wild mic drop.
All right, bro. I ain't gonna drop this, man. This mic's expensive.
Yeah, you gonna buy me a new one.
Hey.
I had to get the crazy eyes out on that one.
But I'm really looking forward to making a better living for myself and elevating in the game, getting more and more equipment, getting better with video, and teaching people stuff and having a community around me. Eventually, I'll probably teach some lessons and stuff.
Fire. You know what's crazy? You mentioned the sectional game, and I still remember to this day. Before I met you, you were shooting a game that I was at. It was at Gates Chili. And in my mind, I said to myself, yo, I want to work with him. And I was like trying to like meet you like at the game, but it didn't work out. I think I was low key a little chicken, just from the standpoint of just like I was intimidating. Like, right, I didn't want to scare you off or whatever, right? But it's funny because once we connected, and I think we were working together for a while, and I was just like, nah, I think I saw you before, and I low key was like, I want to work with him, but then I had just chickened out. But it was just kind of crazy that like that's how that happened. And then I had the memory after the fact of like, nah, that's crazy. Now here we are, 3 years into the game of building together, working together, and you just taking off, and yeah, it's fire. The collab, how is that going with the portrait photographer guy?
Oh, we got Luke Laporta.
Yeah,
dude,
Talk about that, man. How did that happen? And yeah, what's the move with that?
Well, speaking of like what you said with you saw me at a game and like years later, blah blah blah. I had known about this guy Luke for like a long time, and probably 3 years ago, my uncle was like, "Hey, I know this guy, blah blah blah." I looked at his work and I was like, "Wow, like it's quite freaking impressive." Yeah. I would consider him the best wedding photographer out here. As far as these portraits go, it's ridiculous, dude. Like some of this work is just out of this world. And 3 years ago, he was like on his story looking for a second shooter, and I was like 16, 17, and I was like, yo, like I love to do this, blah blah blah. I don't know if I'm there or whatever. And then like 6 months ago, he reached out to me and was like, yo, like I need a second shooter. What's going on here? And
That's crazy.
And he's been very helpful. Sort of up in my portrait game. My photos have been getting a lot better. Shout out Luke for the starburst, for real. Starburst is so fire. I'll flash it on the screen. There we go. Video editing. Now you got to edit this video.
No, I'm not editing.
I'll edit it.
Straight up.
You'll see it on my page. Ladies and gentlemen. Jorstad imagery on Instagram.
That's a fact.
Yeah, dude. I did book a wedding recently. It's been great. Luke taught me.
Wait, hold on. Time out. We're not about to just speed past that. You out here booking weddings now?
Yeah.
My boy is booking the nuptials.
The nuptials.
Let's go.
Dog, what? Is that one of those like 20-year-old vocab terms?
Yes. Nuptials is another word for marriage.
Oh,
Hence,
okay.
Prenuptial agreement.
Oh,
pre-marriage
agreement. Okay.
Prenuptial.
That makes sense.
But yo, you really booking, like that's huge. Like
it's good stuff.
Nuptials is bigger than it's way bigger. Shout out D Will. Way bigger than senior portraits.
D Will with his second shout out of the pod. No, it definitely is, because I've been blessed to be able to be part of people's sort of best moments. You really only call a photographer when you want something that you want remembered, or call a videographer when you have something that you want to remember. So people tend to call me in their best moments. And like I was saying about versatility, it's great to add another piece of versatility to what I can do. And for a lot of people, that's their best moment. Their wedding is the most important thing that sort of in their life that they'll consider like their best day, the most important thing that's happened to them. And I'm always happy to be a part of sort of the best of people's lives. And it's also It's also a stressful type of thing. Like
You just
can't-
Matt bombed me again.
You
Like, so first it was the whole thing with photos, no one knows you missed. Now it's like photographers are always a part of the best moments. Like, I'm not like, yo, that's true. People do call photographers when they act like their best.
I've never shot a funeral.
Or a divorce.
I'll do a divorce photo shoot. That would probably be funny though.
I mean, they are having divorce parties now. So, I mean, it's different out here in these streets. But it's not the norm. Like, hey, yo, so I just got divorced. I need this photo shoot.
No,
like,
right,
they're calling you,
right,
like,
right.
at that best moment. I've never looked at it like that before. Yo, photographers are really up right now. You everybody's best friend.
Exactly. Best bet Dan, best friend Matt. No cap.
Big facts. Hey, we got the bars. Nah, this is
Yeah.
fire though.
Weddings.
I think this is a good place to call the end of the episode. What you think?
Probably, yeah.
Word.
Sounds good to me.
And then we'll just run it back again at some point.
Yeah, I will pull up soon next
Word.
week.
Word,
Episode 4 on the way.
Facts. Well, listen, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Actually, I'm putting this on Facebook for the first time, the full length show. So hope you guys enjoy it. Like, follow, subscribe, do all of those things, man. But I got more conversations coming your way. Make sure you go get the book. Get more from the game. It is available on Amazon, and it's also available on my website, bestbetlife.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time, we out. Later.
Street smarts and book finesse. Mix 'em up, that's your best. This is the best show. Guiding your souls to